Hey, gorgeous Geminis. I am so happy to sit down with you all. As you know, you are my dear good friends in life, and you teach me so much about different ways of being and thinking. So, sitting down with you, even doing the reading with you, I feel like I tap into your energy for a little bit, and I'm kind of living life through your lens for the moment. So, it's always really interesting for me, having like really virtually no Gemini in my chart, and other than Chiron, actually. And we're going to be talking about Chiron a little bit today. Yeah, so it's always fun to check in with you and see what's going on with your energy and what's going on, because you guys have had quite the ride. I feel like the last year, the last like 9 months has really worked at you and worked on you and morphed like who you thought you were going to be and what you thought you were going to be doing. And a lot of you have kind of been stepping into March just being like, what is going on? Like, where am I now? What is any of this now? And so March does not really end that process in many ways, I think, for any of us. I think that I'm noticing with the March readings and the March energy as I'm going through is that we're getting used to some really new big transits. So we have Chiron recently moved into Aries until 2027, and that placement will be there solidly. We've had a couple visits of Chiron in Aries over the last little bit, like back in April and what have you, but we are now really solidly in that energy and feeling through that. You know, that's revolutionizing your community and your friendships. It's the wounded warrior. So we're working on healing and empowering places where we see ourselves as perceiving it as a weakness or as a sore point, right? King of Wands popped up. Interesting. Okay, we're already getting the fire sign energy strong here for you guys. So we're getting used to that transit. Uranus is moving into Taurus on March 6th. And around that same time, we have a new moon in Pisces and a Mercury retrograde beginning in Pisces. So those are all happening around the 5th and the 6th of the month, all together, all clustered together. So we're getting this huge hit of energy there. And it's going to make people feel a little wobbly, a little uncertain. Page of Wands. Wow. Okay. Some destiny energy is at work here with those energies. Like if you have King of Wands and Page of Wands, it's about visionary action. So it's really interesting that you're getting that because, like I was just saying, the energy around the 5th and 6th is going to make everybody feel a little wobbly. We're getting used to these new long-range transits. For you, Uranus and Taurus is an interesting placement because at that point you're dealing with 12th house energy. You know, it's your neighboring sign, and Uranus is this electrical revolutionary. He's about technology in the future and envisioning things in new levels. And he's in this traditionalist Taurus energy, which for you is in your 12th house, the spiritual. You're getting revolutionized in your spiritual, in the way you see yourself, in the way you move through the world. And it's quite potent and quite powerful. And you got to get used to this new energetic field. We also have, oh, Ten of Swords. Wow, that just popped out. Very exciting. We also have we have some interesting moons for you as well. So we have that new moon in Pisces on the 6th, same time Uranus is going into Taurus. And all this Piscean energy we're having, along with the Mercury retrograde, is in your 10th house of what you're doing in the world, who you're presenting yourself as in the world, how you're moving through the world. And that can feel, I mean, it's a time to evaluate that. It's a time to check in with that. It's a time to be kind of conscious of what you want that to look like. And you may be feeling like a slowdown and a check-in about it, because it could feel quite slow and quiet. But I think that's important for you. Oh, 3 cards decided to come out. We have a Knight of Swords, 7 of Swords, and the Hanged Man. Yeah. Yeah. Lots of swords energy popping out there. We also have a full moon in Libra, which I think will be really beautiful. It's at 0 degrees of Libra. It's on the first day of Aries season. And that energy is a lot more conducive to you moving forward. So that 0-degree Libra full moon in your heart chakra and your creativity sector is going to be so potent, so powerful, so useful for you. I think in getting that clarity, it's kind of like the first part of the month is a fog, Wheel of Fortune. But the fog could actually give you huge insights, huge downloads, huge ways of seeing. So even if you feel that externally things aren't moving, internally a lot can be shifting. So use the time wisely. Seriously, use it wisely. Your ruling planet Mercury going in retrograde, I think Mercury retrogrades always affect you in a different way than anybody else. You and Virgo, both ruled by Mercury, have a closer relationship to that planet. And so when he goes retrograde, this is your time to rest. You know, that quick moving, quick witted energy needs rest time. That's why it's so beautiful that Mercury goes retro 3 times a year, because we need it. As much as we like to complain about it and blame things going wrong on it, we need that slowdown in order to integrate, in order to feel centered and at peace. It's just a really important part of the puzzle. So 3 of Pentacles. Okay, so see, this month takes a turn. It's so interesting. It's got like a whole bunch of different frequencies that you're working with here as we work through the month, and I think that's really interesting the way that it's happening. I'm going to pull one more card and then we're going to talk through this. I know that I have a note for you, because I know that the last 9 months or so has been very revolutionary. A lot of you have had big surprises, big losses, big changes. I know that the Venus retrograde hit Gemini is particularly hard, particularly crisply and bluntly in many ways. So it's been an interesting ride for you all. So the note that I had is that, reference all this good source material you've gotten over the last couple of years to really find your emotional resonance. What I mean by that is, when you're in a situation that really doesn't serve you, you're in a work environment or relationship that really doesn't serve you, it brings out some kind of really vulnerable, raw emotions. And maybe you've been out of that particular situation for like a year, but if you ever get into a situation that mimics that feeling, ooh, Death card came back up. You guys get this card a lot. I've been noticing that with you, Gems. I know a lot of you are involved with Scorpios. That's a common theme that just keeps coming up. But, if you're able to, you get into a situation that pulls up that, mimics that energy that you've had in other past experiences, you can recognize it that much more quickly and shift gears that much more easily. So that's that's part of what's going on here, is this calibration process. So let's talk through this. Like I said, there's a fogginess the first part of this month. Pisces season is about transformation. It's the transformative energy, right? The fish, Jesus is very tied to the fish, and he's this transformer. He's not a transformer, but he's a transformative energy. He is about the death and rebirth process. And so when we're in Pisces season, inherently we're working with that energy at a very high level. We're connecting into consciousness, and we have a Mercury retrograde, your ruling planet, happening in Pisces. We have this new moon in Pisces. We have these huge long-range shifts going into place. So it causes fog, but what's going on there is really visioning for the future. Yes, you may have a fire sign around you. You may have some intense, pushy even, and very stubborn fire energy around you this month. Not gonna lie, King of Wands and Page of Wands kind of have their idea of what they want to do, and they tend to want to take the lead and do it their way. So that's possible. But the other thing about these two energies is they're visionary. They're visionary energies, and I know I've said that a few times today, but it's so true. They kind of see the big picture, 10 steps down the way. They can kind of see the whole vision. So one side effect of the way that the energy will be working with you, Gems, is that while it will perceptually at first seem like a fog with no information in it and just this lost feeling, what's really going on is that there's visioning, major visioning happening, where you are able to see the bigger landscape and take it in and understand it. If you have projects, if you have things you want to do, if you have a person you want to become, a mission you want to complete, this is a great time for that information to come through. And it may be reflected in fire signs around you, absolutely. They could be reflecting at you what you're desiring to be. Sometimes when we're really intrigued by somebody, or even frustrated by somebody, or fascinated by somebody, it's because they hold something that we want to become. And instead of fixating on who they are, we need to take that information and realize that it's what we want to become, right? There's also something deeper going on here, because look at all these swords. Ten of Swords, Knight of Swords, Seven of Swords. What's interesting about this combo is that there's this shift in storytelling, shift in mythology, basically, right? I mean, Sword Suit is so Gemini territory because it's all about our thoughts and the way we think and the way we communicate. And that's your wheelhouse. It's your wheelhouse, baby. And these are more challenging aspects of that wheelhouse, right? But these are also hitting up against what story you tell of yourself, about yourself, via the world, and if that's working for you or not, right? I'm guessing that there's a part of this process, a part of this story, a part of this mythology that you've written for yourself, even over the last couple of years, the things you've experienced over the last couple of years. You've kind of put a judgment on it, you've put a type on it, you've put a title on it, and you've said this is what it was. And there's something about that needs to go. Ten of Swords is always an invitation to release. Ten of Swords is always an invitation to let that go. You can't hold on to it. It is dead, you know. It is over. That version of reality, right? And part of that version of reality that we're letting go of, right, is this pushiness, this impatience, this desire to just have it all answered and done and clear and concise and fast. And this feeling that you have to look over your shoulder, that you're getting away with something, that there's a lack of trust in the world, that even when things are going well, or even when it feels like you have opportunity, that you can't really enjoy it because you have to look over your shoulder, because you have to hold on to who you've been or situations you've had. But that was then. I mean, really, there's only now. So if you keep thinking these ways, they keep repeating. It's a very repetitive cycle, right? So one of the things you're looking at in this fog, you're being asked to embrace the visionary energy quite a bit more, and to release old identity mythology as well. And to find a little more trust in yourself in the process, quite honestly. The Seven of Swords is always an indicator for me. If I see this card in a reading, right away, there is a lack of self-trust, there is a lack of faith in your process, and there is a lack of faith in your value. So when it shows up, it means it is time to look at that. Because look, here's the deal. You have new projects, you have new horizons opening up for you. Pretty broadly, you have new things coming in. When you look at these three cards here, these are positive. Yes, I will admit, you guys have particularly strong transformation energy this month. You do. It isn't necessarily going to feel like stable ground, because you have the Ten of Swords, you have the Page of Wands, you have the Wheel of Fortune, Hangman, and then Death at the top here that we will get to in a moment. These are all pretty heavy-hitting, transformative energies. So, you know, we're in mutable energy. You're a mutable sign. We're having your ruling planet in retrograde. We're shifting into a new energetic cycle. This is not very surprising because everybody's kind of getting their footing, and there's this shaking up of the whole thing. What was working in 2015, 16, 17, 18 is not going to work from here on out, and so we are having to reassess quite profoundly what it means to move and work through the world. It's just very clear and precise that way. And these cards right here are about that evolution. Things could change very quickly this month, actually, especially once we hit into Aries season. We are hitting into that sweet spot, that forward motion, focused, driven, action-oriented energy. And it's kind of funny because these two cards have very different energies. The Hanged Man is about understanding you have it all already. You're channeling through. You know, it's the Jupiter sigil that he's representing here. And he is representing the knowledge that all is well, even when it seemingly feels that we can't make any movement, even when it seemingly feels that the surroundings around us are not serving us. And there's a stillness and a quiet and a focus to this. Whereas the Wheel of Fortune is a lot of times lightning strike. Here we go. Time to change. Something's got to change. The turn of the wheel is coming. The world is turning. It's a very perfect energy as well because, we hit into that Easter time. We hit into that renewal time, new energy coming in. So the way that change comes in for you is, I do think there's an externalized version of this. I do think your world is going to be changing. But I also think a lot of this revolution is just happening internally with your mythology. But that's the thing. That's where the real work is. The real work is on the energy level. We always think it's in the go, 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 in the day to day. And there's a part to that, but it's a smaller percentage than the energy work we do. Now, if you are willing to open your mind to who you can become, look at the great people that are coming in. And I honestly think these earth fire signs are a part of that. These people, this energy has your back. It has an invested interest in helping you grow and change and morph and become something bigger and better, right? I mean, they're benefic energies here, even if they are challenging. And you have it again here in the Three of Pentacles. Partnership, flow. The number 3 is so gorgeous because it's about sharing of ideas. You're the third sign. You're the third house. You represent the 3 energy in so many ways because you're all about communication, community, moving, the energy, talking. So I'm seeing some kind of forces uniting kind of energy. Now, yes, the death card's at the top. And once again, these two can hang out all day together, right? Because they're very deeply tied. This idea that, the closeout and the opening up, the end and the beginning, the transformation. I think as much as you guys are mutable air, which means that you are able to morph and transform and open up to possibilities in ways that a lot of other signs can't. It's kind of amazing to see your ability to shift your mental space around as quickly as you can. There's a secret side to Gemini, which is that you actually do struggle with change and that you can struggle with certain concepts of self, concepts of identity, and letting them go. You can hold on to them for a very long time because you've taken the time to really construct them and create them. You've taken the time to write up that material in your mind and in your body. And to let it go is kind of like you're letting go of one of your master creations. But there's something about the end of a cycle. Something's not serving you anymore. A situation, a mindset, and this really, with all this transformative energy you have, it really could be about a literal, job situation, relationship, living situation, schedule situation that's no longer serving you, and it's coming up very strongly to have it shift over and close out. That's very possible. So keep that in mind this month, y'all. Be gentle with yourselves. Listen in. Pay attention to when you're feeling those resistances. Pay attention to yourself and take it easy. The shifts are coming, so take it easy. Okay, you can work with me. I would love to schedule private sessions. I do Skype and Zoom and phone readings, so you can catch all of that information at sarahverba.com, and you can also find me at SARAHTAROT.com. It'll lead you to the same place. You can find me on Instagram at SarahVerba. I just recently shifted my handle over, so you will be wanting to look for at SarahVerba from now on. I'm wearing PinkLune's gorgeous jewelry. She is amazing. One-woman show, handmade, ethically sourced, always new, interesting things. 15% off for you, my loves. I also want to tell you about one of my dear friends. I just love talking about my friends and the work they do. My friend Taylor, who's this amazing person. She is a holistic business coach, a social media guru. She's really great at helping you figure out what you want. If you're somebody who has a business or an idea and you want to understand better how to translate that into the social media world and feel more connected with all the parts of your business, she's an amazing resource. So I'm going to leave her website and her Instagram below if you're interested in connecting with somebody who has that skill set and will really give you clear, direct advice and visioning for for your journey. She's amazing for that, so I'd go check her out as well. I'll leave all of the info in the description box. And also, I'm thinking about doing Uranus and Chiron transit extra videos for all the signs. Are you guys interested in that? Because I think that could be a really good resource since we will be working with this energy for a number of years. Let me know. I will talk to you guys very soon for more moon magics, more Q&As, and of course the April readings in just a little bit. Sending you so much love.